feeling good, looking good, or to be in Hollywood, all that good stuff. Hey, how's it going? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. So, workout 1 for the day is done. As you can hear, I'm still struggling with my throat a little bit, but it's getting better. Feeling a lot better anyway. Like yesterday I could barely talk. Today I can at least talk. It's a bit raspy, but we can get it out, so that's a good thing. In terms of workout 1 for today, it was back, biceps and abs. Pretty good. What I did today actually was I dropped the weights down and sped up the rest intervals. So what I've been doing recently has been increasing the weights and pushing myself in more weight, but what I realized is that my gym sessions is getting longer and longer and longer. So what I did today was I dropped the weight back down and dropped the rest periods down as well. So I'll do that and see how we get on, and how, like, after the session I felt pretty good. I don't feel as taxed, so maybe I need to find a happy medium between the two, but I can't be in the gym for like 2 hours a day. It's just like, I enjoy the gym, but I just don't have that kind of time. I've got a lot of other things on. I've launched a brand called Underdog to Alpha. That's now online, so I'm pumped about that, super stoked. Yeah, there's that. But in terms of today's update anyway, or today's video, obviously, like I said, I just come back from the gym, and I had my camera on a little thing on the side, and I was recording myself doing some work and like my workout stuff, so that I can do the little intervals and stuff throughout the video. And actually riling me up just thinking about it now. But anyway, so my camera's there. I mean, you can see it. It's not hard to see. It's a fucking big ass camera. And this guy walks past and just fucking bangs it, and it goes flying and falls over and smashes into the ground. And it took every single fiber in my body to not wrap a barbell around his head. Like, fuck. I talked a couple weeks ago about red mist and shit. Jesus Christ, like, it kicked in so fucking hard. Like, I was ready to murder that motherfucker. And like, took a deep breath, kind of just stared him out a little bit, like, what the fuck, dude. Took another deep breath and a couple more deep breaths, and then thought about it, and I was actually like, do you know what, that's 100% my fault. Like, yeah, he knocked into it, and that's not the root cause of the problem. Like, the problem is that I put my camera somewhere where someone could knock it over, right? Like, that's the real, if you went to like the actual root of the issue, it was all me. If I didn't put my camera there, he wouldn't have knocked it. So it was kind of like a good lesson, and it's another one that I've been kind of mulling over for the last few days actually. And it's like, every single decision that you make leading up to the point of a bad or good outcome is 100% your fault, or it's 100% on you. Like, the decisions you've made that lead up to that point were decisions you made. So like, I couldn't be pissed off at, I was pissed off at him, and I was ready to fucking destroy him. But at the same time, like, every decision I made leading up to that point, like where I was standing, the position that I put the camera, this, that and the other. Like everything that I did up until the point of him knocking over the camera was on me. So I can't be pissed off at him, because like that's just the outcome of the decisions that I made. So this is kind of one where, I mean, it takes some getting used to, and it takes some wrapping your head around, because like someone runs a red light, smashes into you and fucking takes you out. Like, yes, they're at fault, but the root cause is still you. Like, you made a decision to go, you made a decision to leave your house at that time, you made a decision to use the route that you used, etc. And there's a compound of effects, and there's a compound of things that happened leading up to that point that got you to where it is that you are now, and has given you the outcome that you're getting. And this kind of ties into mentality and everything. Like, the more focused you are, and the more you stay present with the decisions that you're making, the more you can be accountable for those decisions, and the more you can take and the more you can take responsibility for them. And basically, in long story short, you just feel better about the outcomes, even if the outcome is bad, or it isn't the outcome that you wanted. It's still like, okay, well, yeah, like I made this happen. Yeah, all in all, I was ready to destroy that guy. A couple deep breaths, practice what I preach and all that good stuff. And it was a good test for me, actually, because like mentality wise, I've been wound a little tight recently, and that was a very big opportunity for me to just blow off like a lot of steam and lose it completely, and go like full fucking chimp brain primate kind of fucking off the charts at him, and just allow that frustration out, and taking a few deep breaths, thinking about it, etc. Like, in my head, I destroyed him. Like, in my head, he's a pile of mush. But in reality, he's still doing his workout. He's having a good time doing his own thing. But like, I feel better for not reacting to it, and rather than losing my shit completely, just taking a few deep breaths, working on my mentality, working on my mental state, and realizing that actually that's 100% my fault. Like, everything that happened today, I made happen because of the choices I made leading up until that point. So yeah, just take a little bit more responsibility for your stuff. There's like a very big blame game at the moment out there, where it's like you see all these adverts on TV where there's a blame, there's a claim, blah blah blah, like all this shit where it's this shifting responsibility on other people, and making basically not owning any of your own shit. Like, if you're not where you want to be, well, it's that person's fault. If you don't get what it is you want, well, it's that person's fault. Your kid's not getting the grades they want at school, well, it's the teacher's fault. It's this person's fault, it's that person's fault. Fuck that. Like, just start taking some responsibility, own your shit, and you'll be a hell of a lot happier for it. Like, when I realized that the choices I made leading up to that point were all my choices, and I took responsibility for those choices, you almost get this feeling of like relief. You're like, okay, I'm actually creating my own path, I'm creating my own destiny, I'm creating the outcomes in my day. So in future, I'm not going to do what I just did today, and then I won't have the outcome that happened, where my camera ended up fucking off halfway across the room, and luckily it wasn't damaged. Like, I don't think so. I'm guessing when I plug it into my computer I'll know a little bit more. But like, when you start owning that shit, and you start saying, yeah, okay, next time I know to be a bit more careful with the camera placement. Like, subconsciously I knew I needed to be a bit more careful, and I needed to secure it down a little better. But up until this point, no one's ever knocked it over, because people don't typically have their eyes up their ass. So like, today was the first time this ever happened. But now in future, I know I need to almost fucking bolt that thing down, so even if someone bumps it, it doesn't fuck off. Like, it just has a little wobble and comes back, and I'm cool, no doubt. Whereas like, until it actually went wrong, there was no right kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, that was a long-winded story around how you need to just take a little bit more responsibility for the outcomes. But I mean, I think the message still stands. Like, just take a little bit more responsibility, own your shit, you'll be a hell of a lot happier for it, and yeah, you'll feel more in control. Like, the more I do this, the more I realize that I'm 100% in control of everything around me. Like, and it's not everything in terms of like, I can't control what you do, right? You can do whatever the fuck you want to do, who cares? Like, that's up to you. I can't control that. What I can control is how I react to it, whether I'm even in that situation to allow for it to happen or not. Like, all of that stuff, up until the point of when your reaction takes place, I'm 100% in control. And then I'm in control afterwards, because I can react in a way that I want. Like, I can stay present, and I can do, I control the way in which I reacted. And up until not that long ago, actually, I let everyone else control the way in which I reacted. So I, like, my old boss, he always makes me laugh, and he's always on my case about poker face and the fact that I have no poker face. And I'm actually, like, I work on it a lot. And the other day was the first time in a meeting where I could, like, someone was trying to push my buttons on purpose, and I just kept chilled. Like, you couldn't, there was no expression on my face. Like, I was just like, boom. And they were actually, at the end, they actually said, like, we're not sure how, we don't know how to read you, or what it is that, like, the outcome is. Like, are you okay with what's being said? Are you not okay? And, like, I just left them to guess on it. And it's amazing how much more power you have. And it's not, and I'm not trying to play a power game. I'm just not allowing them into my head. Like, I'm not allowing them to control the way in which I react to situations. And it's just so much better. Like, I feel so much better for it. I'm in a much better place mentally for it as well, because I realize that, like, the more I take responsibility for shit, the more I can control my environment, and the more I can make things happen for me, not to me, etc. And that's the typical Tony Robbins sort of mantra, where it's like, life happens for me, not to me. But until you actually start practicing that shit, like, I didn't believe it until I started doing it. And then I realized, actually, like, if I don't react in an aggressive way, I give them no fuel to, like, I don't then provide a fuel to make a fire even bigger. So, like, in that meeting, I could have lost my shit and kicked off and gone mad, and then the outcome would have just escalated, and before you know it, like, we're burning the whole fucking building down, and everything's going mad, and everyone's kicking off, and it's like a fucking bloodbath in there. But instead, you just hold yourself together. You don't allow them to control the way in which you react to situations, and then indirectly you control that situation. I can't control what they say, but I can control whether it escalates or not. So yeah, long story short, own your shit, take responsibility, and yeah, man, just enjoy it. Like, the more I do this, the more I enjoy it, and the more I realize that actually I do what I want to do, and I get what I want to get, and no one can force me to do anything that I don't want to do. And it's like, even if I don't want to go into work today, right, I can make the decision. I can say, fuck it, I'm not going in. Like, I weigh up the pros and the cons, and I decide whether I'm going to do it or not. But if I just feel like I give over the power to them, and I'm like, oh, I have to go in, all of a sudden I'm coming from like a defeatist attitude. I don't have to go to work. I don't, like, if I want the money, I'll go to work. But I don't have to turn up. I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. So all of a sudden I'm in a different mindset. I come at something from a different perspective. And before you know it, you're in a much better headspace. So I think I've rambled enough for one day. Just remember that everything that happens because you allowed it to happen, and every decision you've made up until that point has got you to where it is you are in that moment. And whether it's good or bad, or a favorable or unfavorable situation to be in, you can make it better or worse by controlling the way in which you react to it. Like, I could have made today so much worse. I could have kicked off, I could have started throwing punches, fucking barbells, and gone ballistic. And then what was the outcome? Like, either him or me being a fucking bloody mess, and both of us probably getting banned from the gym, and a whole bunch of other things. There'll probably be like police involvement and all sorts, like risk versus reward ratio, just not in your favor. So even though it's £1,000 camera and I was fucked off, like, the camera's still in one piece. It's not damaged, it's not broken. But what could have been broken is my fucking face if I'd kicked off too much, you know. And that would have cost a hell of a lot more than £1,000 to fix. So yeah, just understand that you control outcomes of every situation, and everywhere that you are at that moment in time is because of the decisions you made leading up to that point. Anyway, that's that. I'm all done. Enough rambling. Please like, subscribe, share, bell notification, all that good shit. That's it, isn't it? Follow me on Instagram. And I'll catch you all again next time. Cheers for now.